Bugsnax is a game that hadn't caught the public eye when it was showcased in the big PS5 reveal, and it was quietly dismissed by the majority. So Sony made the decision to bring it to PS Plus on launch for the PS5 crowd, though they did charge on the PS4. And it's a great job they did. Not because it's bad, but because this is a quirky gem of a game. That it needs that kind of early publicity, so when they do make a sequel, which it looks like it's teed up for, they're going to be ready with an actual decent fan base, because this was a really good small game to get on with, especially for a PS5 debut. So before getting into the game itself, here's some of the facts. I platinumed this on the 7th of January 2021, so that's the updated version I played up to, so anything after that, it won't be naturally in the video. It's single player only. The trophies, there are 28, 1 platinum, which is the important thing, 6 gold, 10 silver and 11 bronze. The size of the game is an 8.12 gigabyte, so nice and small, and it's a platinum rating of 1, as it is an easy and there is no missable trophies to get here. And the game length is about between 5 to 10 hours. It took me roughly around 5 hours, but that was with no guide, so as well, if you're using a guide, which you really shouldn't, you should enjoy this game, it will take roughly about 5 to 10 hours.
Doesn't matter who you are. Hooray! Ow.
Gameplay and controls.
Right over there.
So Bugsnax is fundamentally a quirky bug capture game in essence, partially a puzzler as well. Essentially it's Muppets in a cartoonesque world but with sinister undertones. You're a journalist who's been invited to try and unravel a story and figure out this world of Bugsnax. But quickly it all starts to unravel and you have to start helping the locals and piecing back together this village, and that is what in essence is what begins the whole kind of story, with kind of capturing the creatures to help those individuals out. It's a really simple setup. The controls are really simple as well. L1 brings up your variety of skills that you get for like a weapon wheel. So you'll get a slingshot, you'll get a bug actual trap, and some various other things like that. And R2 activates said traps, and you can combine them when you kind of put like the catapult down, then you can put your normal trap on and you can then fire it. It's a first person game, so naturally your left stick is used for the camera, your right stick moves, and that's pretty much what sums it up. You can't die in this game. You can burn, you can freeze, but it kind of is like a timed thing, so if you're trying to get a fire bug and it sets you on fire, you kind of end up running around and you kind of miss your opportunity to try and capture them. You have to try and figure out some other way of doing so. The only niggle I had with the controls is that I was never quite comfortable and got to grips with the changing of the traps when you need to do multiple ones. It does work, but it can be just a little bit fiddly. And also when you're talking to non-playable characters, sometimes you're just trying to feel like press triangle to feed them, and it was a bit of an irritating one because I had the habit of constantly ending up talking to them rather than actually just wanting to feed them. So it could have just slightly been mapped better, but overall it was a good game. It may be that sometimes I may have just rushed a little bit because I just wanted to get on with the game, but it was good overall, gameplay wise and with the controls at hand. Nothing too sophisticated. So naturally the game is called Bugsnax, and basically because all the creatures in the game are food, just with different names. So Rootle is a carrot, Strawberry is a strawberry, there's a running around Subway sandwich, and basically it's more than the sum of their parts. Each food does have some kind of a connection on how to to capture them. So there is an ice cream type one. Naturally, you can't just grab it with your trap because you freeze. And then there's some scorpions who are on fire, but again, all food related, and that's what brings out the puzzles. It's a nice twist and a nice take. It's a bit, you scan the monster and it will show you like their path of how they walk, so puzzling isn't too difficult. As I referred to earlier, it works because you don't die, so it gives you more of a scope to actually try things out, to try and capture people, and to try and figure out how to work the puzzle, which then enables you to feel a bit more clever about yourself when you do solve it, without having to be kind of stumped. I think there was only one boss that I came across that stumped me for a little bit, which was the giant watermelon, but again, once I realised, it all worked and fitted in. So it all has its all place, and it all kind of connects, and naturally certain bugs will stop you capturing others, so you have all that kind of figuring out the puzzles. So it's a nice little playground to express your ideas and try and see what works and what doesn't, without fear of much reprise or health bar damage, which would kind of limit you on what you would want to do, and it all works well. Also, I like that the game isn't overly big. Each map is into kind of individual segments, and it all works out that they're just big enough for you to explore and try and look for things, but everything's a bit obvious for you at the same time, so you kind of remember where certain creatures are, and it's not an overall ball ache to go from one place after you capture something to go then give the non-playable character the said animal they want to eat. And it's all kind of has a good ebb and flow to it, where everything doesn't feel very frustrating and having to go A to B, B to A, so forth and so forth. So for Bugsnax in the first category, I give it a 1.5. It's smooth and fun, but more could be done with the controls to keep it sharp, and a few Bugsnax tracks could have been a bit more well done. It also felt like this was all done to keep it all smooth. And to function, rather than being a bit elaborate and kind of getting out of their comfort zone with certain Bugsnax. So I found it certain frustrations with the flying Bugsnax could be quite niggly to capture as well, which I don't know if that was intended. But the haptic feedback in this is very underwhelming, I felt. You get the slight rumbles here and there, but nothing real effort-wise to really kind of show off what the pad could do, which I think they've missed a trick. So overall, it's a nice kind of package on what you're playing with. I maybe have liked the ecosystem to being more effective with each other, but as this is the first kind of game of itself, I do have high hopes for what will happen in the future. Music and sound effects. The music in this game is great. There isn't much of it in terms of variety, but it plays lovely and it sets the vibe off in this game perfectly. It's whimsical, yet it gives that eerie feeling that all isn't what it seems in this game, which is extremely hard to pull off, and I have to give credit where credit's due. The music isn't catchy, but if you heard it in anything else, you'd instantly know it's Bugsnax, and thankfully it isn't irritating. The sound effects are good without ever being great. Each Bugsnax sound is basically its name repeated over and over, which works when near to a creature and it utters its name if you're trying to figure out what to catch, but with a decent in-game tracker of creatures, it's mute on helpfulness. Bar that everything fits without really standing out and works well, the game just doesn't really push or offer much in quite awe-inspiring music or sounds. The characters are voiced very well though, and have just enough character to make them stand out, though I did not like the character Wiggle. She was really annoying, but that's because she's a Marmite character, so some will love her and some will hate her. So I felt a 1.5 was a fair score. The bugs could have had more effects to them to give them a bit more quirkiness and stand out, but it does the job well, and the ambient music does an excellent job.
I'm not a
It says right here on my snack scope. Filbo, personality type, squeeb. Skills, none. Friends, none.
It says that because you wrote that in yourself.
It also says you're a terrible leader.
You...
Like, are you still here? Zonk off, Squeeb.
Platinum and difficulty. Straight off the bat, nothing is missable here, so enjoy and play through the game. Capture whatever Bugsnax you come across as you play, as all 100 are needed. And if you can only carry a certain amount of Bugsnax, but the more you donate, you then start to upgrade yourself, which will allow you to carry more Bugsnax. There aren't any difficulty trophies, and nothing was glitched for me either. The trophies are things that are 75% you'll complete after doing the story, and the others are simply quirky ones, like throwing sauce on a non-playable character and then scanning them. Everything you can do when you read up on that specific trophy, so it's all really simple. So without, there's not much to really go on or say about this. So there's no other score than a 2, because this is a decent trophy list and the difficulty is simple. It's laid back and it's a puzzle game of capturing creatures, and it's meant to be enjoyed and not stressed over. So if there is anything that stumps you, there is plenty of guides to help you, and it's not that overly complicated. So there's nowhere to be stumped or get stuck and then come back to. It's just something that will give you a brain teaser for 5 minutes, and then something will click, or you will experiment and something will happen. So just enjoy it, and the platinum is yours for the taking after a few hours. Graphics. All 100 Bugsnax are designed and animated perfectly for the world they're set in, with a charming and colourful natural world to play in. The game gives off a relaxing vibe, and it's all got a bit of like a mysterious overtone to it, which all works and complements each other, along with the non-playable characters, who have just enough detail to make them different, though they are the same creatures. So there's a creature called Grampus, and he's bright pink, and Filbo, he's bright blue. And then so forth and so forth, just to give them that kind of individuality. But they drastically change when you start feeding them individual creatures, and all 100 of these Bugsnax will make them look different. The level design is simple, yet populated enough just to give a sense of habitat, and it's your standard fare of a beach, a forest, snow and desert, which doesn't push the boat out, but it's all done nice enough to give the island variety to keep you busy. It all looks and plays the part with no glitches or issues that I came across, so it gets a 1.5 as it's a nice game to look at, but it's not overly difficult to be with the style that they've decided to go with. More could have been done in giving subtle things more life to the island and the Bugsnax with a bit more decent interactions, but it's all done in a nice tidy way with very few faults.
Check it out. Problem is, I lost my balls. They're stuck all over the place. I'm sure I could get them down without your help, but...
Story and length. The story starts as a mystery, but sadly dissolves into nothing more than helping locals capture various Bugsnax. Looking for a good Agatha Christie-esque novel you won't find here, but the story isn't mere fetch quests, and the characters have personality just enough to want to help, but being involved further with the story and piecing the village just feels a bit flat. And mostly the overarching story of trying to hunt for Lily, who invited you to the island with the story in the first place, kind of gives you a little bit of a push to see if she's dead or alive, but you don't overly care much as you're just kind of capturing the bugs and dealing with who you're actually interacting with at the village in the first place. The size of the maps and how simple it's laid out means the game flows and allows the story, of what lack there is, to work. Each area kind of has a non-playable character, and you're trying to convince them to come back to the village by doing various Bugsnax capturing and stuff like that, which just kind of gives you the push to kind of explore and find the various different creatures. With the way the map's done, it means it's simple enough that once you need to capture a bug and go feed it to the person, it's not a chore of going back and forth, plus you can always capture things on the way. But it can be a bit pigeonholed and stifling. This enables the sense of adventure and finding things fun, but at the same time frustrating. I like the characters, they're very dynamic, the relationships in between them are quite a bit nasty at times, which is very different for a game that kind of gives off the childish vibe. It's not for children in certain ways. Capturing the Bugsnax is fun, but the story itself and the dialogue, you may be a bit uncomfortable with your younger kids playing it, so just be aware of that. But there wasn't enough depth though overall, apart from changing the Grumpies in with various characters and stuff like that, so they can change to being strawberry-esque, and it was all it didn't really help with the game at all that they changed into various like food pieces. Just apart from it looked funny for a few minutes, which is kind of weird that they kind of got a kind of grown-up angle on dialogue, but yet they still have a very basic childlike appeasement. So it was a bit jarring in that sense. But the Grumpies all worked well, apart from one, and I already said this, I hate Wiggle. I loathed her. She was just something I didn't like. The game itself, it clocks me in at about 5 hours, so it's a short game, sadly. But what is on offer here is just enough that you don't really feel like it was 5 hours. It just keeps ticking along nicely without becoming too overstaying its welcome, which was good for what is actually in the game. No more than 10 hours for very less abled gamers, or if you're just really just soaking it all in. So it's a double-edged sword. The content is strong enough, but would a larger, longer game be as fun? I'm not too sure. Unless they had a bit more quirky puzzling involved with tighter ecosystem, then yes, it may work. But at the moment, it just feels a bit too simple. But that might be where they start making something more interesting in the sequel, as they're just trying to establish this new IP. So unfortunately I have to give Bugsnax a 1 in this department, because there is just a weird kind of clash of, is it too short or is it just long enough?
Not awake, not asleep. Get up, everybody.
So overall, it gets a favourable 7.5, and it's a respectable score for its first outing. It's short but sweet. It is the best way to sum up Bugsnax. A health warning of not playing this whilst hungry should be advised, as this game won't help matters. The trophies complement, and the platinum will showcase all that the game has to offer. I couldn't escape the feeling the game was held back as a sample potentially to grander things to come in future releases, and if this was a success, and I hope it will be, as this is a breath of fresh air on being different from the norm, albeit not original. If they can give more detailed ecosystem and personality to the Bugsnax and interactions, and push the challenge factor on more Bugsnax with more actual story and purpose, the sequel will be a hit with the ever-growing fan base, to which you can count me one of them. I hope you liked the review. Give me a like, subscribe and give me feedback, and if you need any help, just put it in the comment section.